Good morning, everybody. I'm Ed Avis. I'm the Managing Director of APDSP, and I want to welcome you to this morning's webinar. It's the first of our two-day 2021 Zoom Reprographics Trade Show. And we're delighted to have with us today three presenters: David Gerbholz from Image Access, Joseph Szobody from ReproConnect, and Eric Steadham from FotoZoomer. So thank you all very much for attending. The purpose of this is to emulate a regular trade show, which means questions are of course welcome. Please use the Q&A tab on your screen to ask questions. And you can put those questions forth at any time. You don't need to wait till the end. I'll be monitoring them, and if it seems like a question that should be answered at that very moment, I'll go ahead and forward it or bring it up to the speaker. Otherwise, we'll hold it to the end, but don't wait. Go ahead and ask questions whenever you want. This event is being recorded, so if you would like to watch later or share it with someone else, you're welcome to do that. All of this information is great info for other people in your shops or in your business. Okay, and with that, we're gonna launch this. We're gonna start with David Gerbholz from Image Access. David, the screen is yours.
Great, thank you, Ed. Wanted to introduce myself. My name is David Gerbholz. I'm the sales manager for North America and Image Access. Also with us on the call is Jonathan Winiger. He's our VP of Operations, and he will be directing the scanners, the camera at the scanners that we're going to be operating and sharing with you. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen now, and you will see a screen full of scanner icons. These are just shortcuts to unique IP addresses that are on our network. So one of the unique things about the Image Access products is all of the scanners come with a 64-bit Linux controller embedded in the scanner itself. So that means all the software does reside on the scanner. There is no PC required to operate the scanner, and that also makes us PC and Mac compatible. So this also gives us three different connectivity options. You can connect this to your network via a 1 gigabit Ethernet port, which it will be its own individual device on your network. You can also have this isolated and do a walk-up scan to USB function, utilizing the 21-inch touchscreen monitor that you see in the video of the scanner there. This does have an output of USB 3.0. So if you had an external hard drive or thumbstick that you wanted to just store your scans and documents to, you could utilize that. And also you can connect it to a PC the traditional way on your network as well. So
Hi, David.
I'm going to go
sharing your screen, David, because we don't see your screen yet.
Oh, my apologies. Share now. There we go. Is that better?
That's good. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. So you can see here, I've pulled up a web browser. I am connected to the office in Elgin, Illinois via a VPN. So since I am on that network, I am able to type in the scanner's unique IP address and open the scan application. What we're looking at here is the YTech 36. It's our CCD production scanner. This is our high volume production line of scanners. It is we have the YTech 36. We also have a YTech 44 and 48 for those of you that don't know. And like I said at the beginning, all of our software is embedded in the scanner itself. So all your interface and buttons and options are all right here. Under quality, we do scan in 24-bit color, 8-bit color, grayscale, binary, and enhanced halftone. Our DPI ranges are selectable from 150 all the way up to 9600. Although anything over 1200 DPI is interpolated, so keep that in mind. And really anything over 600 at this size is going to be a very large file size. We do utilize 3 different color spaces: native, Adobe RGB, and sRGB, very industry standard. So we'll just go ahead and do a quick scan here. You can see in the small video the document being scanned. One of the nice things about having the software on board is that the document has not been saved. It is not left the scanner processor. This means we are able to do all of our post-scan editing on the fly. So we can change our settings without having to do a rescan on the scan as well. So this makes it very useful when you're starting a new project. You can go in and do a quick sample scan, get the settings that you want, and then go in and create templates under our software. And that'll be selectable anytime when you start the scanner as well. I think we're going to also move on to the YTech 25. And this is our flatbed scanner, 18.5 by 25 inches. It is 1200 DPI CCD scanner. So I am going to close this out. As Jonathan turns the video over, you can see the flatbed scanner sitting there on the table. One of the unique things about the image access products and on the CCD side for the YTechs is our virtual 3D scanning feature. And what that does is allows us to intensify and detensify lighting angles on either side of an object that has any kind of depth or texture in it when you're scanning. So this really has developed our market into a couple different areas that I think we've kind of stumbled across along the way. Originally, it was for some art reproduction, able to capture the brush strokes and highlights and the shadowing of the art and the painting that's on the canvas. But really, it has developed into some textile industries. We have wall covering industries, floor and decor industries, fabric manufacturers who are utilizing this scanning technology, not only for reproduction, but also for QC. So it is a very vast market for what this technology does. So I'll give you an example real quick of the 3D light here. We'll just do a quick scan and see what's on the scanner here. So it looks like we've got a variety of things. Like I was saying, we do utilize this for some art reproductions. We also have some flooring on here and some coins. So right now we're just in the normal 2D mode. You can see the coins here. So if I go ahead and adjust this slider, we're going to be able to see kind of the difference in what these coins will look like with some texture added. And it really gives you a nice highlight there of some of the things that you can utilize with the 3D light. What makes this nice is that it is on a slider, so it's not just an on and off switch. So you can adjust this and intensify it or detensify it as much as you want when you're utilizing this 3D feature. So, and you can see again, we are doing this all post scan. So you don't have to adjust your settings and go in and do a rescan on this after you've scanned. So once you get it set to where you like, you could go ahead and create a template and start your project and continue on with the work you guys are doing on this. So again, this is the YTech 25, 18.5 by 25 inch flatbed. One of the new features that the YTech products has come out with the 36, 44, and 48, the chassis D, we've implemented a new Intel Core 9 processor. So although our scanning speeds have not changed, the processing time has changed, which is something that is starting to change kind of in the industry. Before, the standard was, well, how fast can you actually scan a D-size drawing. Well, the speed of the scanner really hasn't changed very much in the last few years. And just because you can scan in something at 13 inches per second doesn't mean you're going to have the power to process that image. So what Image Access has done is implemented an Intel Core 9 processor, which is allowing our processing speed to be much, much faster than ever before. So that's really going to be the indicator of what's going to ramp up your production time versus the actual scanning speed. Any questions so far? We're going to move on to the Book i5s. I wanted to make sure that there was no questions on the WideTech products as of yet.
Remember, attendees, use your Q&A tab there. If you have questions, go ahead and fire away. David, I was wondering if you could scan over the dollar bills there. It's interesting to see how they have the little pattern on them here on our screen. Is that?
Yeah, so these are actually gold reflective dollars. They kind of they're made of gold. We had a customer that actually manufactures these that was trying to figure out a way to market them and digitize them. So we actually have a filter that will go over top of this scan bed that reduces the light and the reflection to actually get a really good. But I see what you're saying on the big screen here. It looks like it's kind of checkered.
Yeah.
And that's just the reflective from the gold sheen that's on those dollars. That's not a regular dollar.
Got it. David, also, I don't want to keep interrupting your presentation, but can you scan the wood piece and then do the 3D slider to show how grain is affected?
Yeah, so this is right now we're just in the default, I believe 300 DPI. So you can see this is just in normal 2D mode. If I slide this adjuster up to maybe 5, you'll be able to see kind of some of that grainy substance in there, some of the shadowing. And if you notice on the screen here, where I'm zoomed in, all the shadowing is down at the bottom of those ridges, and we're at +5. If I was to go down to say -5, you're going to see that those ridges and shadows are on the other side. So that's indicative of the different angles that we're able to capture the light at.
Got it. And that would make a difference, I assume, if you were a designer and you were trying to create a reproduction of this type of material or something, right?
Correct.
Oh,
Yes. 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 Yeah. We've actually just broken into quite a few flooring manufacturers that are utilizing this feature for their flooring reproduction. So it's not only prevalent in the art world, it's also gaining traction in the textile markets too, which is great for us and our partners. Is it's opening new markets for them to tap into that they may not have experienced before.
Got it. Cool. All right. Thank you. I don't have any other questions. I'm gonna turn it back over to you here.
Okay, great. So yeah, we will move on to the Book i5. I believe there's a couple of them there. Looks like Jonathan has a V3 set up on the left-hand side and a V2 on the right-hand side. So in the Book i5s have now replaced the Book i4s in the V2 and V3 sizes, and those letters and numbers are indicative of the size. The V3 is in correlation to A3 size, so that is going to be 15.5 by 19 inches. And the V2 is in correlation to A2 size, which is 18 by 24 inches. We do have two different model options in the Book i5 V3 and the Book i5 V2. We have the kiosk version, which is a 400 DPI. And then we have the professional version, which is an upgrade to 600 DPI in both models. So you can see the configurations he has set up on the table. There's a few different options for configuring these, and one is to have the monitor mounted to the neck of the scanner, which is the kind of traditional style. You can also set it to the side. There's monitor arms that attach to the side of the scanner that allow you to adjust the position of the monitor. And you can also have a dual monitor configuration as well, as you see towards the far right on the Bookeye 5V2. So this will allow you to have a touchscreen interface off to the right, as well as a QC screen that's on the neck of the scanner. So one of the new features in the Bookeye 5s is they have taken all of the components and they are now all located in the head of the scanner. Originally, they were we had some CPU boards down in the base of the scanner, and then the 64-bit Linux controller was up in the head of the scanner along with the camera assembly. Now all of the components are up in the head. This makes it very more efficient for serviceability for your technicians as well. So I'm going to go ahead and log into Bookeye 5v3, and we can just do a quick scan on this. And you can see the time it took to do that scan. And this is in our V mode. You can also lower the cradle and have the traditional flat mode. This does make the Bookeye one of the most versatile scanners on the market, in the fact that you can scan books in their natural reading position with the V mode. You can also convert it, like Jonathan just did, into flat mode, and you can scan documents or pages or maps or anything along those lines. We can also scan objects as well. We have a Indian reservation down in New Mexico that puts 10 to 15 arrowheads on top of the scan area, and will do a single scan and then crop each one out and have an individual file for each arrowhead. So this does make it a very versatile scanner, and this is one of the unique things about the Bookeye products from Image Access is the V cradle and the flat cradle position as well. Any questions on the Bookeyes going forward? So far, no? Great. So one of the last things I wanted to show you on our webinar here is just the use of the Image Access website and where to go to find information, along with contact information for myself or Jonathan. One of the nice things that we've implemented here is under our support is we now have service videos for each one of our products. So traditionally and in the past, we have performed all of our certified training in person at our showroom there in Elgin, Illinois. Due to the times that we're facing now, we have taken that to a virtual platform where we have service videos that your technicians can go through. They can take a test and they can be ASP certified, which is an authorized service provider from Image Access, and be technically trained on all of our products. So that is a very useful information for your technicians to utilize when they're either working on a product or starting to discover more information about our product. Under our scanner tab, you can go through and select any scanner that Image Access offers. So anytime you are working with a reseller or interested in researching some of our products, all you need to do is find the scanner you're looking at, and we have a number of useful tools and information on our website that you guys can go through. You can download the product brochures as a PDF. We do have some product videos on here that demo the videos as well. We have product photos that you can share with your customers or your partners on what it is that they're going to be getting. All of our documentation with compliances are all on here. technical data downloads, and all that information as well. Any questions on that so far?
No other questions, David.
Jonathan, is there anything else that you would like to add to the presentation?
No, I think you did a good job.
Okay.
David, let me ask
Well,
a question. Are you, is Image Access seeking dealers in the United States at the moment, or do you have your territories covered, or what's the situation there?
yeah, so we have co-ops such as yourself. APDSP has a number of members that can all utilize Image Access products as a reseller. So the information that I sent you and that you posted on your website with our partnership includes all those resellers as well. And yeah, we're definitely open to speaking with people who are interested in representing our product, reselling our product, and just even learning more information about it. So one of the nice things about what we've experienced in 2020 is being able to utilize platforms such as this. So as you can see, you just got a small sample of what we have in our demo room. And so this is something that we can utilize as training sessions, as demo sessions for end users or resellers as well. When customers are interested in this product, we can jump on virtually and show them all the ins and outs of the product and give them a real comfortable feel for what's going on.
Great, thank you, David. Attendees, David mentioned something that I wanted to emphasize, and that is that Image Access did introduce a generous program for APDSP members a couple of weeks ago. And you can find it at the website apdsp.org. It's in the tech news section right now. So it's easily findable there, but you can also always find it in the member portal under the resources tab. So be sure if you are seeking a new scanner or want to deal scanners, take a look at this offer because it's generous and will I think serve you very well.
Thank you, Ed, and we appreciate the partnership with you guys. It looks like we did have one question. Douglas asked, who are our resellers in Canada? We do have a few resellers in Canada. We have Le Groupe, we have the Drafting Clinic, Blue Edge is up there, and AXA and Extra Document Solutions as well. So there are a few up there, but we're looking to gain as much representation as we can. So if you're interested, feel free to contact me. We can go over product training. We can go over product presentations and sales trainings as well.
Great. Well, thank you very much, David. We appreciate the partnership with Image Access and appreciate your time today. So thank you very much for joining us.
You bet. Thank you, Ed.
Okay, attendees, we're going to move on now to Joseph Szobody from ReproConnect. And I want to emphasize again, the opportunity to ask questions is here. So please fire away whenever. ReproConnect is also an important vendor member of the association. And Joseph is currently the vendor representative on the board. So he is really contributing his time and energy to making the association work, and we appreciate that. And with that, Joseph, I turn it over to you.
Excellent. Thank you, Ed. And good morning, everyone, or I guess afternoon if you're on the East Coast. Thank you for this time. I appreciate the opportunity to speak to the group. I think most of you are probably somewhat familiar with ReproConnect. We've likely had conversations over the years, either in person at a convention or perhaps over the phone. So I don't want to do a product demo, right? I'm not going to use the next 15, 20 minutes to go through the details of the Planning product itself. What I thought I would do with the few minutes that we have is have a little bit of a more high level discussion, more strategically, more about sales and strategies. Look at some of the ways that ReproConnect reprographers are succeeding in driving revenue with the Plan Room. at a high level, more of an executive level conversation, if you will. And the reason is because when I talk with reprographers that don't use ReproConnect, I frequently get asked, are they even still relevant? Is there even a point? And it's understandable. There's a lot of planariums out there that are just gathering dust these days and not doing much at all. We all know AEC printing is on a decline, a slow decline, but one nonetheless. The landscape has changed dramatically over the last decade since planariums were a big deal when people would pay you a lot of money to have their project posted on your site potentially. And in addition to that, there's a lot of alternatives. I mean, your GCs might be sending out Dropbox links. There's a lot of free file sharing sites. I get why a lot of people would feel that planariums are an old relic and no longer present any opportunity for reprographers. I'd like to offer a counter argument though, if you'll allow me. Let me show you a few things that actual reprographers have been doing with ReproConnect over the few years that might get you to take a second look. So for starters, we track an overall revenue index on all our planariums. That is the combined print orders and download revenue across hundreds of reprographers across the country, thousands of planariums. And if we go back to 2016 as our starting point, you'll see that the combined planarium revenue as a whole, averaged out, has done nothing but grow. And this is not just a few lucky print shops. This is everyone, big markets, small markets, multi-location shops, two-person shops. In fact, this is kind of like compounding interest, right? So every year that growth is building on last year's growth. So this, even just this 5-year window works out to be roughly 50% growth revenue off the planarium in the last 5 years, with these last 2 years being particularly impressive. COVID has particularly driven a lot more projects to a more digital platform with social distancing. That was a neat opportunity this past year. Now, I don't mean to paint a too rosy of a picture. I know the industry is facing a lot of challenges. A lot of print shops had a bad 2020. The point here is that the planarium has been a bright spot in the midst of that, a source of increasing revenue, even when the overall printing industry is struggling in various areas. A big part of why some of these reprographers are seeing revenue growth with the planarium really comes down to how they approach it. See, years ago, it used to be that a planarium was primarily a document management system with more of a back office focus, sold primarily to GCs with upfront fee structures, right? That was just kind of the model that everyone used for years and years. Our successful reprographers today look at it a little differently. They see it primarily as a sales platform, forward focused, focusing on serving the customer, the end user first instead of their own back office. And they use it as a sales hook to increase their market share, create more customer retention, and to build up their digital services. This shift in mindset and sales approach we find to be pretty impactful to how they succeed with the planarium. So for example, rather than say arguing with a GC over a $100 posting fee for a project, which is a hard battle these days, and one that even if you win, you made $100, good for you. A lot of times the focus tends to be more big picture. How can I get all 10 school districts in my market to host their projects with me? Or maybe even more so, how can I restructure my pricing to capture more of this digital services revenue, recurring revenue, revenue that hits my bank account without me even having to turn on a print machine in the morning? The reprographers asking those questions and using the planarium as a hook, as a sales hook, to get bigger things are often the ones seeing the most revenue. So if these are some of the high-level objectives and the high-level things that people are accomplishing, let's look at some more tangible ways our reprographers are achieving these goals. Probably the biggest hook that we see people using are these custom virtual planarium sites. These play into the whole increasing market share and the customer retention pieces in a big, big way. I had a reprographer tell me the only reason he is in business today is because of the virtual planariums he set up years ago that have held on to his biggest customers that he's pretty sure otherwise would have by now taken their projects off to whatever I square foot, Quest CDN, whatever the planarium du jour is in his area. And whereas ReproConnect, these virtual sites have held on to those customers, and it amounts to that much of his business. funny story. I had an ARC location and one ARC location in one market call me up asking if they could get the ReproConnect platform. Reason being, there was a ReproConnect shop in their area killing them, taking away all their customers with these virtual sites, setting up all these virtual custom branded planograms for all the GCs and architects and cities and school districts and colleges. And the ARC customer was desperately trying to figure out how to fight back. Because once that customer's gone and once that customer's set up with a virtual planning like this with another reprographer, it's 10 times harder to get them back. And of course, you want to use that to your advantage. The early mover advantage, the lock-in effect is significant. Of course, ARC Corporate wouldn't let them have ReproConnect. We're competitors, but it was still a very clear indication just how much our reprographer in that market was having an impact in increasing their market share with this one piece alone. We often see a very strong correlation, not often, always. We see a strong correlation between the reprographers making the most money with the planroom and those aggressively setting up virtual sites for anyone in their market. It's also a powerful way to differentiate yourself from the builders exchanges, the Dodge planrooms, and the other types of hosting sites. I was talking with a school district not long ago, and they were bemoaning the fact that when they send their bidders to go look at their projects on some builders exchange site, they have to sift through 1,000 other jobs from other school districts and other places. And they just loved that they were going to have a site completely dedicated to their own. And it's not just slapping a logo up in the top corner and calling it a day. We spend time, our graphic designers really try to make sure it looks like it's built into their website, matches their whole brand and image, gives them a sense of ownership, which is huge. If your customer feels a sense of ownership for this site, they're not going anywhere. There we go, sorry. Now, the concept of a branded planning like this isn't new, but we've certainly taken it to a greater degree than we've seen anyone else do before, and it's made a big difference. You also notice that there's been a big shift, even in the sites that I have listed here on the screen. This is what, 6 out of 1,000 that are out there. There's been a big shift over the years recently into setting these up more for public sector, right? So a decade ago, the vast majority of the virtual sites our customers were creating for GCs. Now, I'd say the vast majority are for municipalities and school districts and universities, along with the architects and engineers that work with those public sector clients. So it's still public sector projects. We don't have time to really dig into this trend in depth today. I think I'm going to be talking about that in a future webinar for the APDSP, the whole shift towards public sector and what that means for the planning in general, particularly around digital services. But for now, I'll just mention that there's a big shift, and it tends to lead to some lucrative revenue off the planroom. For one thing, these tend to be clients, these public sector agencies, they tend to not mind if you charge bidders for a download electronic set, for example. And so you can imagine that that has a big impact compared to a GC where he may never want that to happen. Now, this shift towards public sector has led to some other things as well, particularly this past year when COVID hit. We started investing heavily in a new planroom edition called BidPoint. This is a planroom add-on directly targeting the public sector like cities and school districts. The motivation was driven by the whole social distancing need. When COVID started and the lockdown started last spring, our phones blew up. Cities and municipalities, school districts, and water and sewer divisions and housing authorities, they were all saying, look, how in the world do we handle a competitive bid now? Because bids have to be sealed. You can't just tell your bidders to email you the bid documents or send a Dropbox link. By law, bid documents have to be sealed, meaning the agency, the awarding authority, cannot see those documents before the exact deadline at the bid opening. And traditionally, bidders bring in a manila envelope to a conference room, and they can't do that anymore. So how do we do this? So we built BidPoint, and it seamlessly integrates with the plan room, allows bidders to upload and submit their bid documents along with their profile and information. Those submissions are all locked and sealed. No one can see them. The agency will receive an email notification. They have a dashboard that shows them the bids that have come in, but only the name and address and contact information. They can't access the documents themselves. And then once that bid opening comes around, say 2 p.m. strikes on the dot, the agency is able to refresh the page, and they are then able to start reviewing the bid details and downloading the actual bid documents. What's happening today is these awarding authorities are actually running their full bid opening meetings over Zoom, sharing their screen on the plan room, allowing all the other bidders to hop on that Zoom call, and it's almost like they're in a conference room together. It's been a big revenue piece for reprographers that are selling this. It's not only a chargeable item in and of itself, but it's a huge hook that drives more projects to your plan room. You have to host these to make this all work, which means you're getting more print orders from bidders that might have previously been going to a builder's exchange or some other site, or getting them direct from the agency. And I already mentioned, a lot of times these agencies don't mind you charging for download. So it's one more piece, particularly when you pair it with a virtual plan room, that has just been incredibly lucrative for reprographers. I don't think this is going away after COVID either. The agencies that are now using this have all indicated to us that it has saved them a ton of time and money. They don't have to drive across town and spend the afternoon sitting in a conference room at City Hall. It's certainly a lot cheaper too, and it's more convenient. But even more importantly, what do they really care about at the end of the day? They want more bids. They want more qualified bids. They want more accurate bids from bidders that got the latest up-to-date set and were kept informed of all the addendum notifications. That makes their bid successful. And not only does the plan room do all of that, but the fact that you can submit your bid online on the plan room allows for more last-second bid participation, where perhaps that bidder changed his mind 10 minutes before the deadline. There's not enough time to drive across town, but there is enough time to go online and upload your PDF file there. This is all very much in their best interest. And I think this is presenting a long-term opportunity for reprographers, not just a COVID opportunity. We have a number of reprographers today that are actually shifting their main sales emphasis in this direction, calling up all the municipalities and school districts, as well as all the architects that work with them, setting up demos on BidPoint and increasing their market share, increasing customer retention, and increasing their digital service revenue with this one thing alone. Is hitting all three of those points. I also wanted to point out some just very different types of things people are doing with the plan room. Things that you may not normally think of, things that I didn't even necessarily think of until people started doing it. For example, we have a component of the plan room that allows you to sell things. E-commerce, just a simple e-commerce module, right? We built it for print resources, print ink, paper, toner, whatever you might want to sell online in addition to your construction projects. We now have a lot of reprographers looking at that going, well, I'm going to set up a dedicated page where one of my big customers can just reorder stuff that pertains to them. Think about a customer that's frequently needing to order pamphlets or binders for their organization. Think about a construction company that wants to frequently order signage, site signage, safety signage, stickers, and decals. Those happen a lot. I hear that from a lot of reprographers. So our reprographers are setting up, say, like a branded, dedicated page just for that construction company, populating it with his site signage and decal options so that his team can frequently go as often as they need to and grab what they need, have it shipped right to them. We customize the checkout experience. We'll add the locations for that construction company where they want the site signage sent to, for example, and create this very custom ordering solution that once again builds up that customer retention. They're not going to leave you at that point. Even if another print shop came in and said, hey, we'll print your site signage for a little bit less, you've built a moat around that customer and made it 10 times harder for anyone else to steal them away. The second option here, the scanning and archiving, is really blowing up recently. I think I've had 5 phone calls in the last 3 weeks with reprographers that are either in the middle of a large scan job or they're trying to capture a very large scan project. Think emptying a basement of old blueprints at a hospital or a university. And those can be very lucrative scan jobs. You guys know that well. But one thing a lot of these reprographers are looking to do is to combine that with some sort of an online secure document archive so that it can be totally separate from the plan room, but the facilities management or maintenance people at that hospital or university, for example, would be able to go online and log in and access their whole repository of scanned documents as needed. So not only does that help you land this lucrative scan work, but it also provides an opportunity to charge ongoing monthly or annual hosting and license fees for the document archive. In addition to that, it puts you at the front of the line when that school or that university has an active bidding project. You're now the natural fit to host that project and get the rest of the revenue on their current bidding projects as well. These things really play into each other. and they feed each other, as you can probably start to see. The last thing I'll mention here, just another component of the plan room that's being used in some unconventional ways. We have an upload form on the plan room. We built it so that people could send our reprographers blueprint orders, right? It fits with the plan room. Specify how many copies you want, so what page size, drag and drop all your files, hit go, and the reprographer is fulfilling that print order. Well, we've been seeing a lot of reprographers look to set that up, but now do it custom for their color orders, maybe small format color, maybe large format graphics. And so we've been busy creating a lot of these custom order forms with different types of requirements, finishing options, things like that, poster backing, whatever it is that you might want to collect, and embedding those on the reprographer's website directly instead of on the plan room. So it's taking a piece of the plan room, repurposing it even for outside of the normal AEC wide format printing space and benefiting their other departments. And that's been pretty cool to see. I'm going to stop there. There's a lot more we could go into, but I wanted to just give you a taste of what's happening, the growth that's taking place, and some of the key ways that that's been happening. If you think plan rooms are dead and no longer relevant, I understand, but I urge you to take another look, particularly with some of the things our clients are doing. If you work with public sector agencies or want to work with them, and I think that includes everyone, or if you even work or want to work with the architects that work with those agencies, reach out so we can walk through the whole BidPoint electronic bidding solution. It's very powerful, and there's an urgency right now. Even though I think that the opportunity is long-term, it's not going to go away, I don't think, but it's on their minds right now, right? Every single agency out there is aware of the difficulties of running a bid opening right now with social distancing, giving you an opportunity to make some phone calls and get some conversations going easier than it might be otherwise. Maybe not everything we do fits with your company. That's okay. Let me just say this. We're obsessed with helping provide the technology that helps you, the reprographers, grow your area, your revenue in any area, in any department of your shop. If you're looking for a technology partner that's dedicated to your success, that's constantly moving the product forward, empowering your sales and growth, someone who actually answers the phone and provides super fast support, then we would love to talk with you. And that's what I had. Any questions or conversation?
Great. Thank you very much, Joseph. Attendees, remember, you can use that Q&A tab. Fire away. Joseph has the answers.
Well, don't promise that. I'll try.
I wanted to mention, as Joseph noted, he will be doing a webinar, at least one, maybe two, in the coming months on more specific topics here. He has his finger on the pulse of our industry because so many of his members so many of his clients are reprographics shops who are doing this kind of work, and he knows what they're doing. So stay tuned for those webinars. All right, I don't see any other questions, Joseph, so thank you very much.
Absolutely.
We value your partnership and your time. And now we're going to turn it over to Eric Steadham at FotoZoomer. Eric, are you with us?
I am. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. All right. So let me know when you can see my screen.
It's there. It's all yours.
Okay, great. Well, my name is Eric Steadham of FotoZoomer, and I appreciate the opportunity to present to this group as any of the vendors do. We appreciate your time. We know how valuable it is, and in today's marketplace, it's ever changing as to what's available to you. What FotoZoomer is a software company that provides a simple path to print for people that are looking to sell printing devices or provide print services to an entity. So we're going to go through some of the presentation aspect of everything that FotoZoomer has to offer. Now, I took my video off because nobody likes to see me that much anyway, even my own family. So, we'll kind of go from there. So from the aspect of FotoZoomer and who we are, let's get to the connected team here. So the connected team, we are a family-run business. We've been in business since 2005. The product has been around. It was first introduced in the marketplace in 2002. It was introduced to PMA at the time and was a self-service photo kiosk, which was the first one on the market to offer large format solutions. Since that time, we have changed the product dramatically. So the team that consists that you would deal with here on a connected basis with the APDSP would be Eric Steadham, myself, Tamara Steadham, who is our financial officer and handles the 3 locations that we run in the United States, Robert Miller, who's the chief technology officer, and Joseph Galante, Joe Galante is our business development person. So from the aspect, what do? Well, we kind of bring print to life for people. We created an innovative software that gives people a simple solution to either order print services or provide their own print services based on what their demands are within their location, whether it be a retail location or an office location. So we have a business card program that allows for creation and either print on demand business cards or submission for business cards. Now, where this plays its part is in organizations that would order business cards on demand in regards to like automobile dealerships, real estate companies, items like that, or in a retail location that offered print services that had limited ability of printing, meaning they don't have the machines to aqueous coat, to corner round your 16-point, 14-point cards. They don't have that ability, but they offer it in a retail environment with the other print services. So we'll talk about all the different formulas that we operate in. We also have a blueprint tool, and this allows people to print blueprints or drawing files on demand if you've provided them with a printer with the software, and or they could order through your through the print hub, which is what a APDSP member would be from that aspect as well. So we'll get into more of the details of those. And then we have a large format version, which focuses strictly on large format products, banner creation, large format production, photo gift wrap, blueprints, items like that. Then we have our full version of our software, which is our full desktop suite, offering everything from passport size photos all the way up to as large a printers you can hook to the system that we support, which is 60 inches wide by 120 inches long for an on-demand print aspect and or from a creation standpoint. And we can customize the layout of the software in regards to the sizes that we can print based on what your print fulfillment aspect would be from a print hub or a print client type location, and we'll define the 2 of those in a few moments. Now, our print hub software would be what would be installed in a location that would be providing the print services for any of these print client locations you see on the left. And our flagship product is our kiosk product. This is a kiosk that's a self-serve device that allows for creation and on-demand printing, and any type of retail establishment that has the kiosk and a large format tied to it, or just a kiosk only solution. This is relative to any type of retail location that has walk-in customer base that is looking to create an additional revenue stream to utilize the large format systems they may have in the back office area, and or create a new revenue stream in a retail location that's a shared revenue or just an additional revenue stream for those that resell printing equipment. So we are compatible with all the Canon and Epson products on the market. We do drive HP as well. We are part of the Canon CAP program, so we are certified partners with Canon as well. We also have a mobile upload app that allows images to be uploaded through a mobile app, and we'll get into some of the details of that as well, some of the customization that can happen with that program. So what we offer again is a software that builds a path to print. So it's kind of a multi-fold type solution where if you are a APDSP member that actually is a reseller of hardware, in addition to providing, print services at your location, this will allow you to sell that hardware along with a simple to use GUI interface in regards to the production aspect of creating and printing items on demand. There's really no learning curve, so it's not like a Photoshop, it's not like an Illustrator program or a poster artist. This is really a simple to use process that will allow customers to create things on demand. So therefore, it takes the simple jobs from the graphic design aspect and puts it in the hands of the customers and allows them to print it on demand. And we do very well in training the separation between self-serve and full serve, because we want to add to the professional design services to those locations that offer that, but also give the customer simplistic creation and printing on demand. Okay, so how these options work in a variety of different opportunities for you is we have the client design suite subscription, which is installed at a remote client location without any printing available to them on demand, meaning that all their creations would then be sent to a print hub location, which typically would be the APDSP member that's the print hub fulfillment location. Those jobs would then be printed, tubed, either shipped or delivered back to the location that placed the order. And we'll go through that in the details of the demo in a few moments. You also have the design suite locations, what is licensed per a site up to particular sizes of the printer and or media that is configured for that site. So let's say, for instance, you installed the design suite software with a 24-inch wide printer at that location so that customer could do certain on-demand printing. We can segment off the software and limit their ability of what they can print on demand, with the remaining sizes and or medias going to a print hub location. So for instance, if you wanted to put 24-inch wide material where they could do instant banners, instant posters, but not do the higher end canvas and items like that, we could segment the software off to where they could only do certain items on demand. The canvases would then go to the print hub location, and that location would then produce that canvas and return it back to the print client site or to the customer if however the relationship was set up. And then you have the full print hub, which would be, again, generally your APDSP locations, which would have the full design suite software with the print hub abilities. And this gives you the ability to print on demand anything that you create with inside the design suite at your location, but also fulfill the hub needs for your print clients where the software was installed. So more simply kind of put, let's kind of show you the flexibility of what the program has done. And again, for locations that want to get into printing, if you have a sales force that's out selling hardware along with the inks and medias, which are higher revenue streams for resellers, we can help project more revenue through these devices because we can give them more flexibility from that standpoint. So the hub works in a variety of different ways. They're great for print for pay houses that can offer fulfillment services with same day or next day services. So let's take an area like New York that has a large, group of people in a very small area. You could offer these design to print services same day or within hours, where they're not using another online service or a very difficult software to create this, and allow for them to submit it electronically with no real knowledge of how to do that. So they're not building different particular products. They're basically just creating it, hit the submit button for printing, and then all the information is transferred to the hub, and that hub and then produces it. So how it works is that you have the hub in the center of any of these type of locations, whether it be a retail store, engineering architectural firm, a frame shop, a retail store like a UPS type store or mail and parcel store in general, a photo studio, and then just another design suite location. What we would then do is marry those locations up with the hub center. The hub center, again, would be one of the APDSP members that provides a variety of different print services. So the creation happens at any of those remote locations. The job is then submitted to the print hub fulfills it, and then it's dispersed back out to the location that created the job. And all of that information is in the order form that comes with the email that gives you the product that needs to be printed, as well as the instructions on what material, size, and then what the pricing structure is as well.
Hey, Eric, can I interrupt for 1 minute and explain the beta test we're working on?
Certainly, go right ahead.
Members, I wanted to tell you, now that Eric has touched on the Print Hub Center concept, we actually have a beta test going where we have partnered with another association, and this other association represents party stores and costume shops. And we have one beta test going now between an APDSP member and this costume shop. So on that picture on your screen that you see right now, for example, that retail location at the top, that would represent one of these party shops. And the APDSP member is the Print Hub. So this beta test, the way it's working is that when that costume shop wins a job, she sends it to the Print Hub, and the Print Hub prints it, and then they share the revenue. So this beta test is underway. We have learned a few things already. We are modifying it to suit better needs of both parties. But I think I just wanted to let you know that this is an ongoing thing, and assuming that the beta test works out okay, we'll roll this out to the entire association and invite other APDSP members to participate and invite members of this other association to participate. So we can create more of these hub center things like Eric has pictured there, which should, ideally should bring in some more business for you through the simplicity of FotoZoomer and this partnership with the other association. So Eric, thank you for letting me say that. I just wanted to make that clear to members, and I'm going to turn it back over to you.
Certainly. Well, thanks, Ed, for mentioning that. I wanted to make sure that it was okay to kind of bring that into the fold before I went into more of the details. So again, what the Print Hub is going to allow you to do is reach further out than you would normally be able to reach from a marketing standpoint as well, because it doesn't matter where in the United States your customer is or your potential customer could be, you could be the hub center for any type of location. So think about some of the smaller towns around where you may be, or remote locations where you may be. Installing the client software in those locations gives them a better access to your printing ability. So this will basically build a nationwide network for the APDSP organization where you can unify your offerings together, but really broaden where your arms may reach from a remote standpoint. So you may not have a local presence, let's say in Walla Walla, Washington, but there is an opportunity to put a client software there that gives them access to your location, let's say in Seattle, where you can print, tube, and ship, and it could be back to that location next day. So it basically gives you a much broader reach in regards to your current market location. Now, in addition to those things, what happens is, let me click back on my screen here, is we have a mobile app upload capability as well. So we created an application that the customer can download and then upload images to be printed. And these images can be uploaded through either Apple and or Android. And then they can be accessed by any of the software at a location. So any client software or any design hub, design suite print hub location. And we'll also give a list of those locations to them. So when they're Google searching photo printing or blueprints or banners or things like that, if there's a location close to them, it will populate, it'll give them not only the address, but if they click on the location they want to go to, it will actually open up their mapping system and direct them to that location. Now, they can't create anything with inside the application. They can basically just upload however many images they want to print and then access those images in the software for their self-creation. And as we know, mobile phones have become the cameras of the world. They're a phone by accident, but they're really used more as a camera for everyone. And so what this will allow you to do is that every client location that you have signed up, they then become a location or sub-location for you as well, because each one of those would be listed from that standpoint, and then that customer could go to that local location for printing. So again, you're going to gain clientele from remote locations where you really wouldn't have an opportunity to market them because they may be far enough outside the realm of where you are. And these are geolocated systems in regards to where the cell phone is actually at. When it's searched, it will bring up that mapping system, and we can guide that mapping system however we want from that standpoint. So again, there's some utilization there. We're going to expand the opportunities within that mobile app as well. And we will continue to introduce expanded products from that aspect. Now, let's kind of get into the individual solutions. I apologize for my voice this morning. But the BizCard solution is one of our very popular programs in regards to a retail location that wants to offer business card printing, but did not have the capabilities from actual completing the job on demand in regards to what a customer may want in regards to the finished product, like 14 point, 16 point, satin coated, UV coated, rounded corners and items like that, and or the sheer volumes. So the business card program we currently have about 2,500 templates in over 72 different categories, and we are continually expanding that. We do 2 major releases a year of graphic updates, where we update all of our template systems in the programs with our biz card as well as our banner tool and all that. So there are a lot of preloaded custom designs that are in the system, but you can also load up customized designs for a particular customer. So let's take an automobile dealership, for instance. Let's say you had a Ford dealership. You could create, your graphic team could create 4 or 5 different templates for them to use. You could upload that into the business card system. And then the only thing that dealership would have to do is put in that salesperson's name, email, phone number, whatever information they wanted to change on that card. But the graphics would be the background of that card. So let's say they had a Ford Mustang, a Ford truck, whatever on that card. You would have those templates preloaded where all they had to do is put in the name. Once that person has put in that name, you no longer have people writing their name on the business card going, hey, my cards are on the way. That job can be submitted to you via the Print Hub button. And once that job is submitted to you, you can then produce that job and get that job back to them ASAP. So from that aspect, they could have business cards produced, but in the same day or the next day, depending on what your capabilities are. And there's an order form, an electronic order form that's on the system that when they're walking through the business card program, they can design that layout. You can put pricing in there if you want to. If you already have set pricing, there's no reason for you to use the pricing module in there as well. But it gives them instant access to business cards without having to go through and create custom or order in bulk, thinking that they needed to wait to get that discounted rate from you. So it gives you a flexibility that other print shops that may not be a part of this organization or may not have these solutions available to them to garner that business. Kind of like the previous gentleman was talking about, winning other bid processes or winning other businesses away from other print locations. This will allow you to do that. So you think about automobile dealerships, real estate offices, insurance offices, hospitals, radio stations. Those people need cards and they need them now as people are constantly changing and evolving from what they're doing, and they go through an enormous amount of business cards. Even in today's world, we see an uptick of business cards being utilized because people are leaving them behind in place of personalized visits. And so everything that we do from a software standpoint is like a subscription aspect, so we can change the modules and constantly keep it updated from that standpoint as well. Now, the next tool is our blueprint solution tool. This simplifies the production of blueprint printing with ease. So basically, any person inside a firm that needed blueprints, or even just a organization like, let's say, a plumbing office that needed blueprints, and you wanted to be that provider for them, there's no uploading, there's no anything for them to do. They have the plans. They simply just choose the plans that they want to print. They would choose the size that they want to print them at from a simple production standpoint, and then submit that job. So I'm going to switch my screen over to the FotoZoomer screen here. What you see here, Ed, can you see the FotoZoomer movie? I just want to make sure because I can't see what you're seeing.
Yeah, we see it, Eric.
Okay.
It looks good.
Perfect. So from that standpoint, this isn't a track loop. So if you actually had the design suite in a retail location, this walks through a movie that kind of shows people what all that FotoZoomer can accomplish for them, either on demand or from a print client, next day production standpoint. So from there, let's go here. We're going to open up the blueprint tool to show you how the blueprint tool operates. So you can kind of get an idea from the ease aspect. Because you guys are ReproConnect in regards to a lot of building productions and things like that, this is a really simple tool for someone, let's say a receptionist to do, a secretary to do, that may not understand, sizing and items like that. So I can come in here, choose my set of plans. We're going to rasterize and bring it into the program so we can see different information on them as well. Okay, depending on the size of the file and the number of pages, it can take anywhere between 10 seconds to a minute or for it to do it. Now, let's say, for instance, if I wanted to see this page in a preview, I simply would click on the preview button and it would bring up the full size aspect of that drawing so I can see the details of that drawing. Okay, if I wanted to print this set, I simply just go select all, say print them as an architectural B and an arc D is both of those sizes. I can then go through and add the quantity that I want. When I press done, it's going to create the order form for those. Now, let's say page 3, I wanted additional prints of that. I could come in here and say, okay, make me 2 A's of this simply on that page, and it would then add that to that particular order. So what I'm creating is a custom layout order, but I don't have to have any knowledge of sizing or saving a file or creating any type of order process to say I want this. I just simply tell it the sizes that I want. When they hit print, they'll put in a PIN code to assign it to that particular job number or that client ID for billing purposes. hit enter, and then they would just simply hit the print hub button. They'll have a digital receipt here, but they will also be emailed a receipt of what they ordered, and you will receive the same receipt. And that receipt looks just like the screen here. Let me get back out to the presentation screen. Okay. I have to get out of this, apparently. There we go. Where you'll have the store information, the details, the customer can put in that information in regards to where the client's going, the number of sets, and the number of pages. So this really is designed to simplify the process of blueprint ordering and basically making sure that there is no mistake on either side, because the only thing that can happen from that standpoint is the client can, from the client aspect, when they submit the job, from the print hub, you can't submit anything other than what the client actually sent to you. There's an order ID, there's a print hub code. So all those are controlled modules to give you access to the drawings, but also access to the files and the sizes that they were ordered. So someone on your side, in regards to the hub side, can't change that order unless the client submitted it that way. So it gives everybody the aspect that their customer's getting exactly what they ordered. If they need more, they can simply just submit an additional order from that process. You do have access to the files once they're submitted to you. So you can go through and make some additional add-ons to that as well. Okay. So that kind of gives you an idea of the blueprint tool and some of the simplistic aspects. And we're going to go into more of the details of what FotoZoomer can do here in just a couple of minutes once we get past the question session. So in addition to that, we have the FZ Design Suite large format product. Now this product here is what we're putting in, or what we have at the beta site, as Ed had mentioned earlier. In regards to the production aspect with the party store, they're able to create banners, large format, photo gift wrap, and obviously blueprint can be turned on and off in regards to the program. But if you had a retail location that said, hey, I want to offer anything and everything to add more revenue stream, you can customize the license the way you want it to be, okay, from that standpoint. And so it gives you a lot of different aspects of things. So you have the print for pay locations, party stores, retail stores. When you think of additional revenue locations, think of dollar stores, professional offices, malls, mom and pop retail locations, things that you wouldn't generally offer printing solutions for. You can now visit those businesses and offer them a solution for an additional revenue stream where there's a revenue split. And that revenue split can generally go between the 60 to 40% mark or 70, 30% mark, whatever mark you want it to be at in regards to your financial outlay of the subscription and or equipment. You can customize the split between those businesses as well. And we have a spreadsheet that shows you all those different splits in revenue in addition to that. So at this time, I'd like to know if there are any questions that I could possibly answer for anybody.
Attendees, if you have any questions, please fire away. Eric, we don't have any at the moment.
Okay, great. So from the standpoint of the complete design suite, you have a design suite that offers a variety of different solutions, whether it be business cards, blueprints, canvas, banner, photo gift wrap, photo collage, small format, large format, photo packages, sublimation type products. So we have a customized layout where we can create a tool that fits where we're putting the product. Again, you have the solution where they're just the client location, where they can only create certain jobs, but they can't print anything on demand. If you are a reseller of hardware and you want to give that client certain printing ability, we can customize the software around to do that as well. So again, you have real control over the process of that customer relation with you, whether it be just the client location for submission for you to be a hub, and or you to do a combination of a client that can print and a hub solution as well. So the software gives you that full aspect solution of what we can do. So to give you a for instance, let's go into like our banner tool, for instance. If the customer had the large format and or the full design suite, they could create this. If you were a print hub, you would have this print hub button to print any jobs that's submitted to you. But from the design standpoint, it's pretty simple. They come in and choose the material that you want to offer them to be able to print on that you're offering at your location. So let's say we'll just choose outdoor banner. They choose the orientation in which they want their banner, hit create banner. They can choose any preset sizes, or they can sit there and customize the size that they want it to be from that location in the short side and the long side. And then the retail pricing is there as well. And that retail pricing can be controlled by you in regards to what you want that client to see and or charge that customer. And then the split would come from that aspect. You simply, when they hit create the banner, it's going to give them a layout. They can choose a background color of their desire, and it will fill in the entire background. They could choose the template out of our template library here. So if we were to come down here to our sports and scroll through and pick a sports background, we can add that to it as well. We can also do image backgrounds. We can do panoramic images and items like that. So for instance, I took this picture here up in Wyoming. And so you can, I'm sorry, Montana. And so you can create panoramic pictures as well. But you can also use a clear background. If I wanted to fade this off into the background, I could do it as well. So the design behind this, again, when people sit there and go, well, wait a minute, we have graphic designers that we pay for this, and we want our graphic designers busy. That is true, and we want them busy as well. But there are also that clientele pricing breakpoint where a client may walk away from a product just because of the complexity of a layout or the simplicity of a layout, that they don't want to pay for a happy birthday Bob banner with Bob's picture on the side. And so from that aspect, you're going to give them the ability to say, here's the pricing structure for our self-serve, here's the pricing structure for our full serve. And that would be a client that would come into your location. From the print client location, in regards to just the design suite being installed, this gives a customer access that they wouldn't necessarily have anywhere else. And it gives that retail store another avenue. So that retail store that's doing the advertising, let's say through Money Mailer or Valpak, that's advertising the print services they offer, subliminally, they're offering services that you're fulfilling for them. And so from that aspect, they're providing a new print client for you in the long run, because again, there's a submittal tool where when they do the print hub aspect, they would complete the client information. So again, I can change the format of the layout here. I could add additional pictures, so I can add any of the picture that I want to. I can either from the phone. We have clip arts in the library. If you have a scanning device, we can actually scan CD, DVD, camera, media, USB. And we also have a drop folder that's a shared folder around your network. So if a customer were to actually email you an image for you to do a layout, you could come in there and do that as well. Okay. You can also add lines of text. You can add unlimited lines of text. You use the on-screen keyboard or the keyboard for the computer, and you can use unlimited lines of text. And then again, when we get to the print, they're going to accept the design aspect if they're doing it themselves. They choose the quantity that they want to print. And when they hit print, again, at that point, a receipt would come out of the system if you had a receipt printer hooked to it, or a remote receipt printer, or a copier that we printed the receipt to. We would then hit enter, and when we hit print hub, you're then going to get the client information. So if the FC client location wanted that print to go directly to their client or to the customer that created it, they could put in all of that customer's contact information, hit send to print hub, and that information would print on that receipt, and you could send that job directly to the customer versus the FC client location, making that turnaround time even faster. What we have found thus far in our print hub locations across the US, because we do this in other industries, that in most cases, the print hub print goes back to the FZ client location because they want the customer coming back to them. And so it gives them another contact point or touch point with that customer, which is very important from that standpoint. Okay. So let's get back to the presentation. So that kind of gives you an idea of how the banner tool works from that standpoint as well. So we really have tried to simplify the creation of any type of printing need that a consumer may want or a retail customer may desire from that aspect, and give them either on-demand printing, if that's the relationship you want with that design suite client location, or just the hub relationship. We have Excel spreadsheets that breaks everything down by size and by weight and tube size. So when it comes to shipping, if you're going to offer the shipping mechanism for that standpoint or delivery, you understand how the weight barrier is in regards to shipping that either USPS, UPS, or FedEx from a domestic type location. But again, this again broadens your print line. So let's take, for instance, someone to mention, Blue Edge as being a dealer from that standpoint. Blue Edge has multiple locations. So Blue Edge could have its, 6, 7, 8, 9 locations being a hub site for 50, 100, or 200 different locations in any locale that they wanted. They're not subject to any type of geographic location of where the design suite client could be. So their Canadian operations and their US operations could work in unison in regards to, print client locations and where those hub sites would go, or where those prints would go for the hub site. Okay. You then have the print hub solution, which would then be installed at the APDSP location, which is the exact same software. It just has print hub enabled, as you saw in the banner tool, the print hub ability. So that gives you full access to printing all those remote jobs, but also creating any of these jobs in-house. So you could actually have a customer facing unit in your lobby area where a customer could come and create any of these things for whatever type of print process you want to offer with inside your own business location as well. So this is basically designed to create a national print network to really give you instant access to printing, so you can compete with the online printers, the Vista Prints of the world, and things like that, where you can offer a much better solution, a much more customer friendly solution, and a more customer interface type location. Again, as I said earlier, the flagship of our product is our self-serve kiosk device. This is probably, I would say, the majority of our locations, probably 90% of our locations around the US have this product in various forms. This is the fourth generation of the kiosk design. Again, it has a 13-inch wide printer for all your smaller format, your 4x6, 5x7, 8x10 passports, photo packages, our transfer material and all that. I'll print through that device there. And then we marry it up to a large format printer, and it has everything integrated from media bays to receipt printers to scanners. It is touchscreen compliant in regards to ease of access of everything. So everything is just touchscreen, but this is what most of our retail locations have, and that you may desire to have in your lobby area to give customers instant access for on-demand design to print, especially from the small format, and the large format would sit in the back area from that standpoint. We can also drive prints. If you don't have any of the supported printer layouts, we can drive prints to a folder in a printable layout. Because we do this in locations that are looking, we have hundreds and hundreds of locations around the country that have limited printing ability in regards to what they print through FotoZoomer and the Canon product and the Epson product that we offer. But let's say they need printing of business cards. So we will bring to the table as well clients to you once you become a print hub that were not current clients of yours, that are actually FotoZoomer current owners that don't have the ability to do certain product sizes. Like most of our locations only have up to 44-inch wide printing. So when they need a 5-foot by 10-foot banner, they marry up with someone like a 4-over or a Got Print, just because they're industry users of those. But we would rather them hook up with one of the APDSP members because we are connected with multiple different organizations. So this will help broaden what we can bring to the table for you as well. So from that aspect, looked at FotoZoomer as close to a partnership of selling your services as well, because we will look at where your location is and say, okay, here are 45 locations that are FotoZoomer owners that need, higher end product in regards to sizes, also more permanent solvent-based solution, because we support the aqueous in these locations for a variety of different reasons. So we will bring print clients to you as well. So we will partner with the locations that are print hubs with us and bring our clients to the table from that standpoint. Okay. Are there any questions that I can answer? I know I'm running short on time here, so I'll need to kind of round things up. So from the support standpoint, we're backed by, internally, we have about 75 years worth of combined experience with the team members in regards to print and large format. I've been in large format for a little over 25 years myself, from a variety of different solutions, product, mainly working for the manufacturers of products and setting up dealerships and managing channel lines for different manufacturers and manufactured products that we had ourselves. So we continue our marketing education series and our training educations with our Zoom U classes that we started more than a decade ago, where we hold webinars and then Insight Zoom U classes at our headquarters here in Las Vegas. Nobody minds coming to Las Vegas, so it's an easy place to have a headquarters. We do have 3 locations around the country for support. We have South Carolina, Texas, and then again, our headquarters in Nevada. So we are again looking to partner with you in regards to educating your sales force, educating your internal people that may be offering the print solutions to clientele, as well as partnering with you in regards to marketing support and giving different marketing ideas to your current print customers to broaden their revenue stream. So if you would like to contact us, you can, or see more information, you can go to photozoomer.com. There's a variety of different solutions there, as well as contact information. Again, my name is Eric Steadham. My email address and phone number is down below. And if you'd like to see what we've got going on and the things that we do, you can follow us on Facebook at the FotoZoomer page there that you see listed. And I appreciate everyone's time. We hope you gain something out of the knowledge base of the 3 companies that presented here today. And if there are any questions that I can answer, or again, if you want some one-on-one information, feel free to email or give me a call. I'll be more than happy to answer that. So I'll take any final questions at this time if there are any.
Great. Thank you very much, Eric. Excellent presentation. Attendees, if you have questions for Eric, go ahead and fire them off. I know that he delivered a lot of valuable info, as the other presenters did today. And this event has been recorded. So if you missed something, or if you want to watch it again to dig a little deeper, of course you can do that. If you are interested in participating in this beta test that we have going with the other association, just shoot me an email or a phone call, and I can make sure that you get set up with that. My email is accessible on the website, but in case you don't know, it's ed.aves@apdsp.org. All right, I don't see any other questions. So let me thank our presenters today, especially for your time. It's a busy time of the year, I know, for you, and I very much appreciate that you shared with the APDSP today. And I want to thank our attendees, especially we have a few from Germany who joined us. That's wonderful. I know that it's much later in the day for you. So thank you very much, our good German friends, for being with us today. And lastly, I just want to remind you that there is another day of this event tomorrow, also at 11 Central. And if you have not registered for that, please do. You can easily find the registration form in the news section of apdsp.org. Or if you have any trouble, of course, just email me or call me, and I'll get you set up. All right, and with that, we are done for today. Thank you very much for your time.